back, guys, to some more Bad to Hear. Now, I'm your host, TC Smith. Now, this for you will probably be the first video that I will have uploaded from my new Mac, but it's not the first video I've filmed, as I've already filmed my review for Wednesday's game, but I'm waiting to do a bit more editing on that, so that should come out over the weekend. Now, this video is a one I've been wanting to do for a while. I think I mentioned it way back when Marcus was still with me, and even when I had beef, just after I had beef with Josh, I believe. So before I went on a holiday, which is how to become, and then insert superhero. So this is the how to become Batman. Now the video will be split into multiple parts. You will have martial arts, equipment, physical/gym work, other activities, intellectual and education type things, and then the last video of all that will be tactics, because I'll be putting everything you've learned into one video. Now I thought, since I haven't got back into the gym and I'm only just getting back into sport, I'm not really going to be doing any of the gym stuff soon, because what I'm going to be doing with that is filming some of the clips of me doing it, and where I don't have clips, I'll show you pictures or footage of somebody else doing them, so those are the more advanced stuff. But, without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So, to make this easier, because this video is about Batman, I'm going to be doing this series. I'm going to film it on the Thursday and have it uploaded every Saturday. And I'm pretty much going to do Batman, and once Batman's done, I'm going to have a month off to do a football player, and then after that, when I say month, I'm going to have time to do a football player, then back to a new hero, and I'm going to start off with my favourite hero, Batman, picture maybe somewhere up here, or after this little clip, and then first footballer will be Ronaldo, because who doesn't want to be Ronaldo, eh? Now, I'm going to start off with talking about martial arts. And I've split it into 3 tiers. Tier 1, I think, are the basics, the foundations, the ones where if you have that and nothing else, like none of the other martial arts, you've got a solid Batman and a solid fighter. Tier 2 are things that some of them were so close to getting into tier 1, but one thing or another made them just miss out. And others are there, like, whether they're practical and can stack up are a bit thing, but are vital as a part of Batman. And then third tier are more mainly just to make, a more well-rounded, more flamboyant, more complete Batman, but I wouldn't really recommend them over tier 1 or tier 2. So it's your personal preference, as always, but these are based on my opinions and understanding of martial arts and Batman. So let's get straight into tier 1. So, tier 1. Now, these for me are the fundamental martial arts for an all-round fighter, for an all-round martial artist, and they are... Wait, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 of them. 5. Now, I would say 4 normally. There are 4 that, obviously are kind of commonly known, and 1 which there's a big debate whether it's a martial art or not, but it clearly needs to be fitted into Batman. Like, if you know Batman, you should know this should be a part of it. So, number 1 is karate. Now, I personally do Shokutan karate, and if you check out some of my videos, there's me when I've just got back from a disc in my ankle. Either a disc in my ankle or my Achilles tendon, one of those, because I think it was when I was did my Achilles tendon, or because I had a few injuries within that time where we used that building in karate, where I just got back, so I was decent, but nowhere near as good as I was, and then. But that was a different type, but I do Shokutan. So I will show a clip of that. No, not now. You can check out that video. Link in the description below, hopefully. But up here there'll be a photo of Shokutan Karate. And it's an all... The positives of doing Shokutan Karate or karate, whatever type you do, is it's an all-round martial art. It doesn't really have a weakness unless you debate that the fact that it doesn't really excel in anything. Now, it does punches, it does kicks, you know, it does a variety. It does more punches than boxing. It does less kicks than Taekwondo. You know, like boxing you have for the, you know, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, you know, where in karate it's the snap, reverse, you got the hook, you got the uppercut, but you got the back fist, you got the ridge hand, you got the knife hand strike, bottom fist strike, palm heel strike, etc. You know, it also is, you know, also like other martial arts, it uses elbow, you know, few martial arts, it uses simple elbows and simple knees, which gives it an advantage over many other martial arts. But later we will get into a martial art that is even better with them. And it's got basic grabs, basic how to get out of grabs, things like that, and basic street things. It's pretty much an all-round base martial art, which is why I chose it first. Now, there were many martial arts, you know, karate, you know, many martial arts back then that were famous. Karate, kung fu, you know, taekwondo. Those were pretty much, and boxing, those were the four most famous at the time. Now, so clearly very good. And boxing is the one we're going into right now. So picture up there of boxing up there. Now, probably you've got so many good boxers. Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Anthony Joshua. Pictures might be up, pictures might not. Depends if I have time to edit them in, or if I could be bothered, you know, as I've got loads of other things. But you know what, I'll try and get at least one up. Boxing is clearly a very essential, because while it has no kicks, it's footwork, it's fitness, it's punches. Yes, it has less than karate, but it focuses so much on those four basic punches and different combos that it is probably the most proficient martial art in punches. And it, unlike most martial arts, which is a hit, you know, you get a point, then you reset. It's one of those few martial arts that you have to get used to getting hit, and you know, different blocks and dodges. You know, you got the lean back, you got the roll, head movement, the bob, you know, etc. Things like that, which really help, you know, with getting hit. So your hardiness and your punching, which clearly Batman would do. Sorry, Josh is calling. Now, the next two are very close links. I'm going to talk about them together. You got Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, Judo, it helps you get people to the ground using their momentum and weight against them. So normally, you know, for example, skinnier people taking down bigger opponents. Now, you may be thinking Batman is going to have physical advantage over everyone he's fighting. You know, he's going to be ripped. But then, example, Bane. For example, real life Batman would not be bigger than The Rock. But Rock would just not stand a chance, you know. So that would be great. It's about manipulating the wrists and the joints to get them down. Now, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is the best form, in my opinion. It's the best ground game. Now, you don't want to take people to ground, really, unless you can get on top of them and threaten them. If it's 1v1 and you've got a good ground game, take them to ground, they're done. If there's multiple, you want to deal with them quickly. I know you want to try and get them in the submission as quick as can, and if they don't, then you know you have to break an arm or ligament or whatever you have to do. Wouldn't recommend. Not that I'm promoting violence. It's just what Batman would do. It's got great clinch holds, manipulation of all the joints. It is an essential part of Batman. So those two, like if you have judo to get them to ground and jiu-jitsu if you get tackled. Now the fifth and final martial art of tier 1 is Krav Maga. Now I know so many of you are wondering where are other martial arts. Hold on with them because you might be seeing them in tier 2 or tier 3. But it's Krav Maga. Now this is the one that people debate whether it's a martial art. But I consider it a martial art. It just doesn't have the sporting element which people, assume with martial art. But it is an Israeli martial. It is a martial art, an Israeli martial art that was made in war. It was made in combat. So it's one of the few that was born for specific combat. So it's the best for war/street. Guns. It's obviously how, if you're unarmed, how to fight against people with guns, how to disarm them. One quickly is to slap the gun one way and the hand the other way, breaking their finger for like a handgun. And then you've got, it's common. They're basic attacks that are simple to use, not complicated. For example, karate has complicated things to get people off you. It'll be simple because your mind won't think complicated things when you're under threat. Fight or flight, and it's basic things you'll remember. Best against weapon defense, best against common street attacks. And, it's all about being brutally and overpowering your enemies with quick, aggressive bombardment of basic attacks, which is Batman. You play the Arkham games, it's Batman. You read the comics, it's Batman. This is, for me, is one of the most fundamental Batman ones you can do. So these aren't in any order. I would recommend doing Krav Maga and karate first. Krav Maga, because it's the most real world. Karate is the basis for, to bounce off to others. But that's all tier 1 for you. Anyway, you might not agree, so leave a comment below if you think some of the martial arts should be in tier 2, tier 3, or not even involved. And if you guys are wondering what's in tier 2, I'll tell you right. So, next, we're on tier 2. Now, some of these just missed out on tier 1, but I thought keep the tiers short, and tier 1, those were more important. Now, one of those that I've just missed out was Taekwondo. If you play the Arkham games, he does a lot of kicks that are deadly. Well, not when I say deadly, they're not deadly, but you can get... With kicks, you're more likely to get knockouts than punches, as kicks are stronger, they can be quicker, you have more reach as well with them, so you can keep people further away, and you have more torque and twist to generate more speed and power. Now, power, just so we're clear, power is the combination of speed and strength. Just so people always get that confused. They confuse power and strength, and it really annoys me. Now, you've got a wide range of kicks there, but I would say punching is kind of more common and probably more effective than kicking, because, kicking, while it's very good, I think it's just not quite as important as the others named. But Taekwondo is going on the list in tier 2. Another one that just missed out is Muay Thai. Now, Muay Thai is known as the art of 8 limbs. It is the martial art while using punches and kicks, it's known for its elbows and knees, creating the 8 limbs. And it is one of the most brutal martial arts in Thailand, where it was, made, Muay Thai for Thailand. They would harden their shins by kicking certain types of trees to harden their shins. Now, clearly, you do not do that when you actually learn the Muay Thai, but you do learn to strengthen, the forearm and the shins to do your knee strikes and elbow strikes. Now, these are more likely to get knockouts than kicks or punches because it's close and, it's a very solid part of your arm or legs, and especially when it's going to do more damage wherever it hits. But you hit in like the temples and by the neck and things like that, it's more likely to stop, either get them to stop or knock them out, which obviously the quicker you can knock the enemy out, to be Batman, the more effective you will be. This just missed out because of how brutal it is. Now, the others are more important. They're the baseline. So I was thinking, it's not quite a base level. Like, the others give you the basics of, you know, your Batman. Now, this is for your more effective, more brutal, more quick-going Batman, which, in terms of, you know, importance, those are all important if you want to be Batman. But it missed out for me because I didn't think it was one of the fundamentals of Batman. It was just the level above the fundamentals. Now, the last thing in tier 2 is ninjutsu. Now, ninjutsu is the art of the ninjas. It's an umbrella term, though. So you've got bojutsu, which is with a bow staff, taijutsu, shuriken jutsu, you know, shurikens, batarangs. You got Eden Jitsu, which is the art of escape, aka the typical Batman move when he's on the roof talking to Commissioner Gordon. Gordon looks away, looks back, and Batman's gone. Kayaka Jitsu, which is like smoke pellets and with gunpowder, things like that. Mainly smoke pellets. And then you got Shenbun Jitsu. I think that's how it's pronounced. I may be butchering all of these or some of these, but I, you know, don't speak the language, you know, other languages other than English, so. But this is the stealth takedowns. These are, you know, from the Batman Arkham games, these are the stealth takedowns, stealth attacks. These are what those are. Now, those are an essential part of Batman, but yet again, it's not going to help you for head-on confrontation, but it's going to be important in the tactics and the role as Batman. It's one thing that Batman is synonymous with. It goes with him so much. So guys, this is third tier. Now these are the things you don't really need, but can help round out or make more flair to your Batman. You got Kali, you got Hapkido, you got Jeet Kune Do, Wing Chun, and MMA. Now those three, Jeet Kune Do, Wing Chun, and MMA, they're all very similar. They're all like, MMA is a mixed martial arts. Jeet Kune Do is an early version of Bruce Lee. It's Bruce Lee's martial art. He made it. It was based off Wing Chun, because that's what Bruce Lee stylized in. So it was known as the art of the intercepting fist. So it was about not only blocking and then punching, but doing it at the same time, or punching them or hitting them before their technique can hit you. So that's why, you know, Bruce Lee was so quick. But it was also the modern MMA. Now, MMA, we all know, is like a great way to mix. I think MMA is done correctly, but incorrectly, or could be done way better than it is. But I'll talk about that in another video. And the last one is pro wrestling. Now, these are things, you know, more flamboyant side of Batman, which for me, like you get in the Arkham games, but for me, Batman is all about efficiency, so I wouldn't really do this. I'll take this more for the more flamboyant, like Robins and things like that. But, you know, whatever floats your boat, you're the one being your version of Batman. But, those are the third tier. I wouldn't suggest learning. Those are like the last martial arts I'd say learn with Batman if you want to learn them. I really wouldn't recommend pro wrestling. MMA, Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do, Hapkido, and Kali, all ones that are good shouts to learn, but then I don't think they're as important as the other 8 mentioned. So guys, I've been your host, TC Smith. This has been Bat to Hair 1 on how to become Batman, the martial arts to learn. Now, if you've liked the video, please leave a like, comment on what hero I should do next after I've finished the Batman, and be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share all these videos with your friends and anyone you think might like this. Anyway, till next time.